Hey, what's going on, guys? BotMentality here. We got another video today on a Bitcoin chart analysis, and today is April 7th of 2018. So the first thing we need to go ahead and jump into and talk about is the current market sentiment. From what I'm seeing, I think we moved a little bit from slightly bullish back to neutral. The reason why I say that is we've been seeing a hammering. I'm on the 1 hour right now. We've been seeing a hammering of, essentially all pops on the 1 hour. And as you see here, when we pushed up here, we got hammered down here. And I'm referring to the 7,500 level here. When we got pushed up, when we pushed up here, we got hammered and got sold off right there. Came back down. We tried to hold here, and I drew that formation in a prior video that we saw here, this price consolidation. During that video, I hinted that I'd say we'd give it anywhere between 2 to 3 hours, and we'd see a breakdown. And sure enough, that's exactly what we saw. Here on Bitcoin, but we've been seeing a hammering of these pops. You look down here at the 6,600 area, it looks like we were going to head lower, which I'm actually surprised we held here. But what we saw was we did hold not once, but twice here at these lows here on the 1 hour. And those lows are at 6,500 and 6,550. And we held there for this period of time, and then it exploded right upwards from all the way from 6,600 on a nice push up to 68. Now, one thing I do need to point out here regarding Bitcoin is we've moved into a new channel. And so if you remember, the old channel was between really 7,200, right? And down here at the, you could say 6,750 or 6,670, all right here. That was the old channel we were looking at. And you see we tested it on the highs, lows, higher high, higher low. Ended up pulling back out of it here, broke back through it, broke out of it, and we got pushed right back in. And you see we failed that channel. When we broke above, we actually are testing the resistance in a new channel, sort of inside of that one. And so the reason why I say that the market sentiment is moving back towards neutral is because of this heavy selling we're seeing. Every single push, we're seeing it being sold down. And people are accumulating, but the issue is that we have so many people who've been back holding from this whole area, guys. This whole area. Okay, we have so many back holders in there that every single pop is getting sold off. So many people have limit sells above us. And so what we're seeing here is every single pop we get, we're being sold back off. So people are kind of in the middle. People don't really know, where Bitcoin's going to go. A lot of the people who were calling the bottom in this area are now not too sure. Oh, let me go ahead and back there. The people who are calling the bottom in this 6,700, 66 area during this time frame are now not too sure. And they say, well, we might see a little bit lower before we go higher. And a lot of the people who are waiting to buy low are just still waiting. And I know they're not moving up their buys because this right here was essentially due to a ton of shorts covering. That doesn't mark the bottom. We've seen this happen multiple times here and here and here. So this doesn't actually mark the bottom. It doesn't really represent anything. It's really just shorts covering, and we saw a temporary change in the momentum because we didn't break the 6,500 lows, which is really to be expected after that consolidation. The same thing could actually happen right here. So I'd keep an eye out for that, guys. It's not something I would rule out. But what I want to draw attention to is the fact that we're in a new channel, and I'll go ahead and draw that out here for you guys. So the new channel are these highs here. Let's just say 68.80. That's what I put in the text post. And also down here at the lows of, we'll just say 65.20. So you can see this is the channel we're in. We tested the highs over here, pulled back to the bottom of it, and now we're testing the top again. If we reject this top again, we'll essentially come right back down here to the 6,500 area unless we make a higher low, which I am not going to count on too much, but you never know what can happen. One thing I also need to show you guys as well, which it'll be easier to see on the daily, but we've actually been tapering off on the volume here. If you kind of just look towards the bottom of the chart, you can kind of see, we had this line right here. We're tapering off slowly in volume besides the huge spikes that go through. So really what's happening is both sides are kind of waiting. We have people stacking up their sell orders above the 6,800, people stacking up their buy orders below the 6,500, and some people trying to play the momentum in between. We don't know which way we're going to go, but what I can tell you is we're stuck in this channel. And if you're long, if you're looking to get long, I would not get long here. If I were you, you need to focus at the bottom of this channel, getting long around that 66, 65 area. And if you're short, I would think you would need to look to short, small size, guys. Remember, small size. This is not the time to really hit it on Bitcoin. The time to hit it on Bitcoin was back here, okay? In these bounces. This is not the area to really hammer Bitcoin, in my opinion, on the 1 hour chart. So back to zoom in here. So that's the area I'd be looking to accumulate long. If short, at the top of this, I actually did take a small short in the 68.44.5, and I'm only risking about 50-60 bucks on that over the 6,900. The reason why I put 6,900 as my risk is you'd see that put us up outside of this channel, and we'd be heading up. And if we break above that, we could move up to the next resistance level of 6,200. That's where I'd be looking for a re-entry sort. And I talked about that in my text post. So that's really what I've been seeing here on the 1 hour. Again, we broke down from that wedge that I spoke about earlier. If you played that, great job, guys. Definitely great job on that. And we have one thing I want to note here is we're seeing the sellers moving down and the buyers are staying stationary. So the buyers have always been at the 6,500 area and they're staying there. Okay, they're not moving up, but the sellers have been moving down because the sellers were here, they were here, and they moved down to here, and now they're moving down to this area. And so you can see that. And now the buys, we have the buyers here, they're really staying, the buyers are really staying in the same area. So that really, just kind of drawing that out, that really lines up with what I was speaking about in my last video, and also I'll talk about this one on the daily, of that huge, descending wedge we're seeing regarding the price action. So just make sure you keep an eye on that. And we need to see some more volume enter. Keep an eye on the low volume. Eventually it'll get to a point where we'll break either way on that and see a surge of bull or a surge of bear volume. It's just everything's kind of slowly coming to a head, if that makes sense. Regarding the RSI on the 1 hour, we're at the prime RSI of 60. Another reason why I kind of wanted to take that small short. We're at the prime time of 60. Remember, 60 tends to be a good, short entry, especially on the 15-minute, and definitely as well on the hourly. So keep an eye on that RSI level. And if you're looking to get long, you'd want to get long, preferably I would say below 30 RSI. It all depends on how far we spike down if we end up selling off. Let's see. So from the 1 hour, the bull case, keep an eye on the channel, accumulate the bottom of the channel, sell towards 6,800 or start taking some off, and sell if definitely start taking on some off if we break 7,000. That's what I'd be looking at on the hourly. And the bear case is I would pay attention to the top of this channel. If you're entering here, it's a pretty small risk on a break above that. And if we do get up to 7,200, I would expect the RSI to be around 75, 80. Which is very overbought. And then also we have the resistance here at 7,200 that I was speaking of in that prior channel. So that would seem like a good entry on the short side if you're kind of waiting for that push upwards. So we'll go ahead and jump over here to the daily. So what I see here on the daily, remember I drew out that trend line in the prior video all the way from the highs up here, we're seeing just straight down. Just in this general area, and then we already have the blue lines there on the bottom from the channel we drew on the 1 hour. So now you can kind of see how this is shaping up a little bit better. So what we saw here is we did see a break above yesterday's open. We did see a break above that, which is good, and that open was at 6,785, and we're right now currently sitting at 6,854. So we did break above that, which is good, and we need to close above that, guys. For the bulls, we need to close above that. What I would like to see today for the longs is if we broke above the high of 6,933, and that was set on April 5th. If we see a break above that, that's great. But it really doesn't matter unless we close above the prior day's open. So we need to close above that. Even better if we could close above yesterday's high of 6,847. That would be great. But what I would be content with for the longs, if we can retest this high, break through that, and then maybe consolidate for the next day or two between 7,000 and let's just say 6,700, 6,800. Consolidate between there and then we can break upwards and hopefully head back towards the 7,500. Now, what I need to tell you guys is even if we were to close at 7,000 today, that's technically still a lower high. So don't get too excited. This is the high I'd be focusing on. So we need to close above that. It might take 2 days. We might move a little bit up here and then pull a little bit back, consolidate here on this right below 7,000 and then break up. That's an option there. But don't don't go full size just because we see a close here above yesterday's high. We still have a lot of resistance to take out before we really start seeing momentum shifting backwards. But this all starts with 7,500. So definitely keep an eye on that. And the main thing is we need to see some more volume, or see some volume climaxing before we really get any serious movement. So just watch out for that, guys. I feel like I said that so many times in this video. There's a lot for you guys to look out for upcoming. Now, on the daily, the RSI is sitting here at 36.99. Remember, there was resistance at 40 RSI on the daily, which should coincide, just judging by estimates here, with the 7,200 area. So if we see 7,200, we'll definitely be in, according to recent highs, overbought on the RSI. So keep an eye on that. My bull case for the daily right now is if we can just close over 6,619. If we could close over that, that would be great. And then if we could just see a little bit of consolidation and continue up through 7,000. If you're trading the daily, that it could take a little bit more time, that's fine. What you need to be watching out for is the low here of today at 6,605. Watch out for that low, and definitely the low of the previous day of 6,518. Keep an eye out for that on the daily if you're looking to enter long here, looking for a big picture breakout over that 7,500 area. So the bear case here is we reject the highs of 6,933, which was from April 5th. If we reject the highs, I'll zoom in a little bit here so I can kind of show you guys. If we reject these highs, right here from that day and head back downwards to retest the lows of today, which is the 6,605, that would be ideal for the bears, is for us to reject this area. And that's why I drew that trend line and took that small short, just because it's just a pretty good entry as far as risk reward goes. And so there's my bull and bear course for the daily, case for the daily, guys. So make sure you just be patient. Be patient. Don't freak out. Don't feel like you're missing a trade. Make sure you're controlling your size, as now's not the time to size up. The time to size up when we see a reverse in trend and we see some more accumulation coming out, some good news coming out. So just be patient, guys. Be patient. Your time will come. So that's really all I got, guys. Remember to keep the bot mentality with you and trade like a machine. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good one.